welcome back to my channel. I thought it was about time. I've actually done this video before. I think it was around like May last year, somewhere around that time period, where I read 200 pages a day for a week, and I felt like I hadn't done like a quantity challenge in a while where I sort of like something picks the amount of pages. Hello! Yeah, I feel like I haven't done that in a while where something picks either the amount of pages that I read or the amount of hours that I read. So I thought, to get out of like a little mini reading slump, because I'm not really sure like what I'm in the mood for, it's a new month right now, I feel like I would use this week to try and read 200 pages a day. I do have a busy week coming up. It's currently Thursday as I'm starting this video, so I will be doing this over the weekend to make it just like that little bit easier on myself. But it will be a 5-day challenge. We'll be going all the way until Monday, and we're just going to see how much I can read. 200 pages a day is the goal. I'm not reading anything right now, so I finally get to pick a new book, and I'm one up all day, and I was thinking about it. I was like, I really want to read this book, which is weird because it's been sat on my physical TBR for ages, and that book is The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. For some reason, as I said, been sat on my shelf for, I want to say like a year, but it might be, are you okay? It might be a little bit longer than that, not 100% sure, but randomly I was like, I really want to read that. I really fancy, at the moment, like a book talky romance for some reason. I don't actually know why. So this is going to be our first read for today's video. Obviously, today's aim is to get to page 200, which is chapter 26, which lands us on page 203. So from what I've heard about this book, it is about two characters called Zara and Rowan, and the basic premise of it is Zara submits a drunken proposal or like something to improve his business, which is Dreamland, which is basically Disneyland. It's like a theme park. When she realizes that she sent it, she was like, oh my god, I can't believe I've just done that because I was drunk. I don't know what it says. It was rude. It was, you know, not what I wanted it to be. And then he ends up actually offering her dream job. And then I suppose you just see their journey through that. It's that billionaire trope. He owns the theme park and she just works there like it's just a normal thing. And it's kind of like an opposites attract kind of thing as well. I feel like I'm going to love this. I've heard nothing but good things. But I'm going to start this and hopefully read to page 203. We will see. The acknowledgement is already so good. It's to the girls that dream of meeting a prince but end up falling for the misunderstood villain. So excited for this. So I have just read the first chapter, and what's just happened is Rowan's grandfather has passed away, and he's given letters to Rowan and his 3 brothers with a task to complete, and if they don't complete it, they don't get their inheritance. And I love stuff like that. And Rowan's task is to improve Dreamland as much as possible. 18% of the company. You'll be expected to be the director in a unique project for me for 6 months. I want you to identify Dreamland's weaknesses and develop a renovation plan worthy of my legacy. I know you're the right man for this job because there's no one I trust who loves creating more than you. And then it goes on to his letter. And this is going to be a wild ride. Tell me why. I completely forgot that Riley had a basketball game tonight. So I'm sitting there reading my 200 pages and he has a game. I've got to go. Oh god. So that is where I'm headed. I'm driving there now. We gotta go. So it is day number 2. Sorry if you can hear my mum's hairdryer. She's currently drying her hair. But it is currently 10 to 4 in the afternoon. So I'm starting this day a little bit late, but it is because I've been filming for another video that you will see very, very soon. And I've been doing that all day. I had to like tidy up my whole room. It was very productive and you will see that very, very soon. However, last night we obviously got to page 203. So I only just made the 200 page mark because the chapter ended on 202, even though the chapter before that ended on like 196, and I was like, nope, I'm gonna read one more chapter. So I'm currently on chapter 26. How many times do I want to say chapter? Which is page 202. I've already said that, and I haven't obviously got too much of an update because I haven't started reading yet today. The only thing I will say is that I am thoroughly enjoying it so far. It is a very nice break from the Harry Potter reread that I've been doing. I'm just happy to like get into another book. It is sort of like a breath of fresh air, which is nice. I don't think I mentioned it yesterday, but I'm really loving the page art on these pages. Like at the start of every chapter they have like a black page with a ride, which is obviously based on the Dreamland business that Rowan, our main male character, has. It has got to the point in the book now where Zara is sort of getting to know Rowan a little bit more on like a personal level and not like an employee level. However, we haven't seen like too much into that yet, so I'm excited to see that. I'm hoping that the second half of the book is them just sort of like coming together and getting to know each other a little bit more. I am going to read for a little bit now, and I do have to run to Riley's granddad's. Definitely not going to go to Riley's granddad's this evening because it's his birthday today, so we will be doing that later on, which means that I need to get my 200 pages in now or do it when I get back. So I'm going to read as much as I possibly can. I am going to read maybe like a couple of chapters and then head to Riley's because we're not actually going there until later this evening. I think we're due around there about 6 o'clock. So as I said, it's 10 to 4, so I need to get a move on. I need to get changed and everything, but I'm going to read my book. I've literally just walked through the door from Riley's nan and granddad's. What's the time, do you know? 10:25, which is a late one. And guess how many pages I've read? I actually don't know how many pages I've read. Specifically, I have read 58 pages, which kind of is a good dent. However, compared to the 200 that we have to read, not very good. So I am just going to get straight into it right now on chapter 32. I'm not even going to dilly-dally or chit-chat with you. I'm literally just going to get on to reading. What I might do though, because it is late, me calling 10 PM late, it's late in my opinion, I'm going to go up to bed with my Kindle and read it as well. I'm going to read a little bit like this, see if I can get to the 100 page mark just sat here. And then once I hit that, because it's so late, I'm going to attempt, keyword attempt, to read another 100 pages up in bed. Because I don't think I'm going to last very long, but I think if I get cozy for the night, get comfy, wipe my makeup off, it might be the best way. That's such a humbling thing. No one looks good walking up a ladder. Oh, I didn't turn the lights off. Ow, I just smacked my knee really hard. Good morning everyone. I'm going to start off straight away by saying that I didn't reach the 200 pages last night. So I have failed on literally day 2, which sucks. But it was a very busy day, so I'm not going to like completely discredit myself. I still managed to read 150 pages. So we started on page 203, which is around here, and we got up to page 352. So it's still quite a big chunk of reading done. So we are like around 50 pages short. And whatever I didn't read last night, I am going to add on to today's reading. So today we need to read 250 pages. And I didn't realise last night, and I didn't say it in the clip, if I did actually manage to read the 200 pages, it literally would have taken me to just about the end of the book, because there's like 325 pages in it, so I should have just finished the book in the first place. However, we are currently on chapter 43. It has just got to the point in the book now where she started to feel a little bit unwell after a trip that they went on, and she is just sort of feeling very, very rough, and he's taking care of her, which is very, very nice, and he's showing up for her. And another thing that I loved, I think it was around like chapter 37, he arranged a book event for her with her favourite author, and it wasn't even an event that was going on. It was literally something that he'd contacted the author and made her like do an event just for Zara, and I was like, bro, that is hot. And I was very impressed with that. That was amazing. But I'm going to see if I can just binge this book now, because I have obviously around like 50, 60, 70 pages left. And then I will start our next read, which is exciting. I don't know what I'm going to go for yet. I literally can't see a thing. I've read up to page 400, which means that I've actually completed yesterday's reading. So I literally have 25 pages left of the book. So I'm going to finish this book now, pick our next read, and then I'll just take 25 pages off of our next read, if you know what I mean. I have now finished The Fine Print by Lauren Asher and really did enjoy it actually. I don't really have too many thoughts because it is just one of those like book-talky romances where I wouldn't want to say that it's surface level because the characters do run deep and they definitely have like baggage and they have depth to them, but compared to like other books I have read, it is just one of them ones that you read for a good fun time, if that makes sense. I really did enjoy it though. It was the perfect palette cleanser for the Harry Potter reread. I don't know how much I explained, but I'm currently in the middle of reading all the Harry Potter books again, and I'm currently on Order of the Phoenix as we speak. But reading this as a little break in between the two was very, very nice because obviously I've only just consumed that in one chunk. So it was very nice to have that little bit of a breath of fresh air into, I want to say like easier writing. Even though Harry Potter is a very easy story to consume, it does have a way with words. It's not necessarily set in, it's set in a real world, in our world, but it has like magical obviously elements to it. So it's nice to just read like a bog standard book-talky romance book. I think in terms of rating, I do want to give it maybe like a 4-star because it wasn't anything that I was like overly obsessed with, but I definitely was looking forward to reading it when I wasn't. I was at Riley's nan and granddad's last night and the whole time I was like, I can't wait to get home and read, even though I didn't manage to read the whole 200 pages. So we are definitely up to date with our reading now, and I have read 25 pages. Is it 25? Oh, I lied, it's 34. This book ends on page 434. So I've read 34 pages into today's reading, so I can take that off of 200, and that is what I have to read in my next read.
Yeah, we still got time. Yeah, we still got time.
I just hit my head really hard.
That's a first.
On there.
Thank you.
No, please don't ruin my camera. You've just...
Hold on.
I just said don't ruin my camera and you booted my tripod and it's changed the angle now.
I love that for you.
You could have just let me finish what I was saying. No, go away.
Come on, Arsenal. Woohoo.
Sorry about that. It is now time to choose our next read. So this is gonna be it. It's a book that I got given by a friend from work called Nikita, and she let me borrow her copy because she loves Lisa Jewell. She's her favourite author ever. She's always said to me, you need to read this book. And then we were chatting about it one day at work, and then the next day she came in and she went, there you go. So I was like, oh my god. So she's letting me borrow her copy, and I have had it, I think it's since July. And when you're borrowing someone's book, you just need to get it read. So I thought that this would be the perfect challenge to do that. Not only that, it is a thriller as well, so it should be fast paced. So reading 200 pages of this today won't be as much of a problem. Like, not that it was a problem before, but you know what I mean. So this is going to be our next read. It is currently just about 3 o'clock. We have a football game on downstairs, or soccer if you will, and Riley's very excited to go and watch that. So I feel like I'm going to sit with him and just read a little bit of this. We are obviously starting from page 1. Alexa, what's 200 take away 34?
166.
166. So we need to read up to page 166 today, and I will show you where that is. So the end of the chapter is 172, so we will hopefully be reading up to there, which is part 2 of the book, which is a perfect stopping point. I am going to take the dust jacket off because I can't deal with that and I don't want to damage it because it's not mine. There we go. A little bit later on, it is currently 10 to 7 in the evening, and I did actually manage to make a start on None of This Is True, and I am currently, let me double check exactly, on page 41. So I didn't make like too much of a dent, but I definitely have started it, got into the story a little bit, got to know our main characters a little bit. But from what I know at the moment, it is about 2 people that were born on the same day. So it follows Alex and Cassie. Is it Cassie? Josie. Alex and Josie, and they were both born in the same hospital on the same day. But in the prologue you learn that Alex has a podcast and it was all about the birthday twin thing, and then people wind up dead or something. But for now, obviously, it's sort of flashback to the events before that, how the story started, and I'm literally just getting an insight onto their like relationships and stuff, and how both of their husbands, boyfriends, partners are just not necessarily like the kindest people. Not necessarily to them, but they're just a little bit like they're rubbish, basically. They're a rubbish husband. I also learned a little bit more about Josie's daughters. She has 2 and they're like 21, 22-ish, so around my age. I think maybe the oldest one's like 25, but one of them eats baby food. And I'm like, why are you eating baby food? And the second I read that, I text Nikita on my phone, the person I'm borrowing this book from, and said, why is her adult daughter eating baby food? Like, sorry? She went, right, there is a reason, but I'm not telling you because I'm not spoiling it. So I can't wait to find out why she's eating baby food at her ripe age of 25 or whatever. So, gonna get to reading. I'm gonna go back into the living room now. I needed to come out here for an update, and I will read some more of my book. So I'm laying in bed and I actually have switched to my Kindle now, but it's just hit 11 PM and I'm on page 90. So I've got 1 hour to complete the rest of this challenge. Why do I leave it so late? I've done nothing all day. I have posted a video and like done other bits, but like I've done nothing. I should have just read my book. This is getting ridiculous now. I need to just get a move on. I need to read up to like 160. Next day, still reading None of This Is True, and I did actually manage to do the challenge yesterday, even though I was so tired once I'd finished it. I am now on part 2 of the book, which is page 172, so I actually exceeded the 200 page by 6 pages. So by rights, I don't have to read that much today, but I still will read 200 pages. However, it is currently 2 PM. and I'm starting it late again. Have I not learned over the last couple of days that I should start early and get the reading done? No, which means we're going to be reading until midnight again. I don't know why I do this to myself, but this is the way to go. So, where does this book end? What page? So we are on 172, 386. So if I read up to here, that will be our 200 pages for the day. However, it literally is like 380-ish pages, so I might as well try it and get it finished. So I'm going to start now. So I'm actually going to get up into bed with Riley. I think he's going to have a nap and I'm going to read. And then if I start drifting off and start getting tired, I'm going to come back here. So, let's get reading. I've got just over 100 pages left on page 275, which means we have completed our 200. No, we haven't. I've still got 100 pages to go. I'm not okay. Anyway, as I was saying, I'm so conflicted on the plot of this book. There's sort of like ties into Josie, our main character, and like her weirdness of her life, but whether the weirdness points to her or her husband, she's always been a little bit sketchy, so I literally just don't know what to believe. And I even text Nikita today, like, what's going on? I'm so conflicted. What is going on? I just don't know. So I'm just gonna see if I can binge the rest of this book now, because I'm not necessarily like really wanting to know what happens, if you know what I mean. Like, sometimes I read thrillers and I literally cannot get up until I know what happens, but this is definitely one of the cases where I wouldn't necessarily have binged this book if it wasn't for this video. If I wasn't planning on reading 200 pages today, I would have read like a little bit of this and put it back down. But it's not like I'm obsessed with it, but I still do want to know, and I am curious, and I just need to find out. So I'm going to read the rest and we will see. Oh my god. There's a little bit more of a mystery going on about Alex's partner now, like her husband, because he's always been like a big drinker. He hasn't come home he was in a hotel room and it was found trashed. So she's getting a little bit curious about that, but they've sort of parted ways now, the two women, so we're not really sure like what's going on in each other's lives because they're not necessarily communicating in a way, and it's just really sketchy. Like, I'm really confused and I don't know what to believe. So I have finished None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. I literally finished it about 5 minutes ago, so I don't necessarily have like too many opinions at the moment, but straight off the bat I am a little bit conflicted about the ending. It somewhat felt not necessarily unfinished, but potentially a sequel could be made out of it. I don't know if it's been announced or if that happened, but it is a very strange ending to something that I thought would tie up in a neat little bow. That for me did take away the like shock factor of the ending, because it was almost like one of those endings where you had to interpret it yourself, and it wasn't like a black and white concrete bit of proof or evidence as to who committed these actions and what happened. So that did take away a little bit from my rating. The whole first half of the book, everything's pointed to Josie's husband Walter and how he's a horrible person, he grooms children, and you know, he's disgusting and he's vile. But the second half of the book, there's a conflicting opinion from other people that say that he's never been like that, and Josie goes on to Alex's podcast and tells her life story. I found out why one of them was eating baby food. That was a whole separate situation, and that was the one thing I was confused about at first. I remember mentioning it yesterday, and I don't know, it was just a really weird book in a sense. Like, I did enjoy it, don't get me wrong, I literally did eat it up within 2 days, but as I said, I don't think I would have done if it wasn't for this video. It was still good and I still would have definitely binged it, but it just wasn't, I don't know. One thing that I did love about it though was the mixed format in the book. So as you guys know by now, if you've watched any of my other reviews, anything where there's sort of like mixed media in a book, whether that's text messages, podcasts, videos, transcripts, interviews, stuff like that, I love it and I eat that up. Alex's podcast of these events was actually made into a Netflix series, and you see that play out throughout the duration of the book. And that I loved because it was literally like watching a movie in my brain. But I can't say I have too many other thoughts on this. If I do, I will edit them in, but nothing really to say at the moment. I think I am going to rate this one like a 3.5 or 4 star. 3.5, because I wasn't obsessed with it, but it was still good. And I would recommend it. Like, I think my nan would love this, so I might recommend it to her. So I started today's reading on page 172, and there's 386 pages in this book, which means that I read 214 pages today. So I have exceeded the 200 page mark. It is only 6:45 in the evening and I'm still in the mood to read, so I might start another book, but I do have another video to be filming at the moment that you'll see really, really soon that I need to sort some bits out for. So I think I'm just gonna like edit and sort some stuff out for that video and stuff, and I will see you again tomorrow for another 200 pages. This book's done though, yay! As I'm filming this, I'm actually currently filming another vlog as well that you're going to see very, very soon. I think I mentioned it earlier on in today's video, but like I forgot to do an update for this one. So I am about to start our next book for today's video, which is Girl Abroad by Elle Kennedy. I did try and see if I could read before work this morning, but I ended up getting too busy and having to do my hair and stuff because it was a very rainy day and my hair was just not hairing. So I was like, do you know what, chuck it in a plait. And that's what I had to do, so I couldn't read before work this morning. Now I'm back, it is time. So I am actually currently, this is a little weird preview into another video that I'm doing, trying to get into these healthy habits, trying to get into more of a routine. So I don't know if you know, but I actually have a walking pad. I've used it twice since getting it months ago, so I just want to get back into that, read on it, edit on it and stuff like that, so I can actually feel productive and get a little bit more movement in my life. So I'm going to be walking while starting this. Obviously we are starting on page 1, so it means that we need to read up to page 200 today, which is chapter 25 is page 199, so somewhere around that mark. We may exceed that, hopefully. I'm going to go for a little walk on my little treadmill thing and see what happens. I'm going to start this book. I'm going to see, I don't know how much of it I'm going to be able to read because I don't know how I'm going to be able to concentrate. I'm probably going to get very motion sick, but we will try. I literally look like an egg. I do have hair, I promise. So I arrived at Riley's and started reading Girl Abroad by Elle Kennedy, and I managed to get to page 44. I have decided to potentially softly DNF it. Not because I'm not enjoying it, the whole premise of it is really, really good. It's basically about a girl who moves to London and she ends up accidentally moving into a house full of boys, and then she becomes like friends with them, fancies 2 of them out of the 3. But the font is so tiny. It's not on Kindle Unlimited, so I can't even like use that to my advantage. Otherwise I would just read it on my Kindle. Like, I don't really want to be paying over £5 just for this. I don't know, like I could, I just don't want to. So I'm thinking I kind of just want like a book-talky, easy book right now, basically. So I was scouring over on my Kindle, I was looking on the app on my phone, and I actually came across a book the other day that I really, really want to read. So I'm thinking of just giving it a start. I was hoping for like a shorter book. I wasn't hoping to read this one, but it keeps calling my name and I haven't heard anyone review it. So I feel like it would be good to give it a try, because I have no preconceptions or anything. So it is called Caught in the Axe by Daphne Elliott, and I've literally just downloaded it onto my Kindle as we speak. It is literally downloading. Don't know if this is going to be good. I'm going to be honest, more interested in the second one of the series, because this is like a mini series. However, obviously you've got to start with the first one first. It's her ex's brother. So it's kind of like a sort of forbidden, I suppose that's like a very dramatic word to use, but forbidden romance, and it's all about like lumberjacks and stuff like that. So I feel like it's giving like autumn vibes, but not necessarily like explicitly in your face autumn, and that's what I wanted. It seems cozy, it seems like one of them ones that's going to make me laugh, and as I said, never heard anyone speak about it, so I'm excited to just see how I feel about it. But I'm going to give it a start. But obviously because we read 44 pages of this, it means that we have to read 156 pages of this. That was quick maths. I'm probably wrong, but proud of myself nonetheless. But all I've done is rot here in this video. I haven't actually moved from this spot. So I have officially made a start of Caught in the Axe, and I'm on page 100, so I actually have sat there and binged the first 100 pages. It is getting a little bit late now, but it obviously means that we only have 50 more pages to read left for today's challenge. I feel like reading 200 pages every day for the last week has just been very, very daunting, but this is the last night that we have to do it, thank God. I do generally read like 100-ish pages a night anyway, like regardless, but when you're like arguably forcing yourself to, I feel like it just makes it that much harder. However, I do have a little bit of an update. I'm thoroughly enjoying the book so far, nothing too crazy. I haven't really got too many opinions on it at the moment, only that I'm really liking both of our main characters. Let me just... So we have Owen and Lila. There are 2 main characters, and Lila is sort of picking up odd jobs here and there in order to pay for her grad school. She wants to move to New York with her friends in order to get some more money. Owen has actually offered her a part-time temporary position to help him sort out some stuff for his dad's company, because there's been some problems with it and stuff that you learn about quite early on in the book. She is his brother's ex, and they dated for quite a while, literally planned on having like a marriage and children, so it's quite serious, and he's like, I'm falling for her and I don't know what to do. The only thing I will say is they did have great chemistry from the start, and I loved that, and I was instantly connected to them as a couple. However, I can see why some people would think that it's a little bit insta-lovey. They haven't like confessed their love, they're only just finding each other attractive. However, I can see why some people would want a little bit more grovelling first. But really enjoying it. Only have 150 pages of this today. Obviously this is our last day of this challenge, so I don't think I'll obviously be finishing this book in this video, but once I finish it I may just put on like a little review. But I have 50 more pages to read, so I think I'm literally just going to sit and binge them now and see what happens. I am currently on chapter 9, which is page 98, so around 100 pages in, ready to carry on. So I have read up to page 155, which does conclude the 200 pages of today. Riley keeps telling me it doesn't count because he says, you haven't read 200 pages of this book though. Even though I keep trying to say to him, I have read 200 pages, it's just not of one book. because I did read the 44 pages of Girl Abroad. I'm definitely planning on finishing Girl Abroad at some point in the next month, like in October, because I was actually quite enjoying it. It just wasn't exactly what I was craving at the time. The font was tiny. However, I am really enjoying Caught in the Axe as well. This is definitely a series that I can see myself so far continuing. However, the only thing I will say is that I am on obviously page 150 odd. It's 500 pages, which did put me off at first because I was like, why does it have to be that long? Romance books that exceed 400 pages are weird to me, because I think, what do you need to say for that long, for it to be that long of a book? Fantasy, fair enough, you can say what you like, but romance is a little bit of a weird one, and this one is 500 pages. It's about, as I said, a girl that starts working and she works these odd jobs and stuff, helps a lumberjack out, and it's about cutting wood in a forest. So why is it 500 pages long? As I said, I probably will slip in a little review once I finish with this book, if I have time by the time this video goes up, because it is going up very, very soon. That's whether I finish it. However, I have quite enjoyed lately reading 200 pages every day. Like, I did say that it was hard, and as I said, it did get harder, the fact that I was physically forcing myself to do that, but I actually did quite enjoy it, to be honest. I can see it being a habit that I actually put into my day-to-day life now, because don't get me wrong, I am a reader. I don't have to force myself to read. I will read every night regardless, but sometimes there's nights where I'm like, I just want to scroll through my phone, and then I will literally sit on my phone for hours on end. But to be fair, this last week has shown me that I still have time to scroll on my phone, just need to prioritise other things. And reading is one of the things I would love to prioritise, because I love it, and I mind that I never have time to read, but it's because I spend most of my time on my phone. I do also want to do another swap in phone screen time with reading, because I did one last August and you guys seem to really enjoy that, so let me know if you want a part 2, because I would love to do that again as well. But I thoroughly enjoyed reading 200 pages every day for a week. I'm glad that I did it. But that is all from me for now. I'm going to go to bed, because we've succeeded. We have successfully read 200 pages a day for a week. But I love you guys lots. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know roughly how many pages a day that you read, or how long you want to read, and what your reading goal is, and I will hopefully see you in my next one. Love you guys lots.